This time we're going to have less Q&As just because of the nature of the shorter show. But, as always, John Morris asks, and this is a good one with all the recent hype up to the multiverse and everything. He says, with the MCU most likely planning to do Secret Wars in a few years, could that mean Marvel Comics could do a reboot in the comics?
No. They haven't done it yet.
Marvel don't reboot.
Yeah, I think, look, this isn't an insult at DC, but it kind of can be taken that way. But I think every single mistake you could take from trying to reboot a universe and then backpedaling over 3 times over the course of a decade was learned from New 52.
Yeah. So far, one thing that Marvel's ever done is just reshuffle things and retcon things to try and make everything fit.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally the only thing they've ever done. Yeah, they've never rebooted it. And I don't think they ever will.
Now, I will personally say, it's not an if, when they do the next Secret Wars in the comics, because make no mistake, they will do it to line up with whenever the film is coming. They always do. I would not mind if they fracture or split the universe, or guess what? We can reboot the universe and it's a clean slate and we'll restart, because by then the Ultimates will be like 30 years old. So it's like, we could probably bring that imprint back and do it fresh from the ground up. But I don't think you reboot the proper 616, because, I mean, that there's just no need for that. I think they've kind of proven that they don't need that. They can always just retcon and go, oh yeah, this happened. Take it or leave it. You're like, okay, just kind of scale the timeline.
I mean, like 616 became the Ultimate line because it just absorbed all the ideas from the Ultimate line, and it made the 616 characters act like that for the most part.
So that is that's kind of that. So I think we're all in agreement. No, probably no reboot.
No, you'll still get people who, because people are thinking now that Secret Wars is a reboot.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah.
And like the all new, all different is a reboot. It's like, no, it's not. It's nothing. Reboot is starting from scratch.
Yeah. They kind of just soft reboot, boot, and reshuffle. They're like, and here we are. Things.
I mean, even soft reboot is a bit of a stretch, but it's probably it's more accurate than a full-on hard reboot.
Yeah.
Because everything still happened. It's just
it's a status quo shift.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. So let's take another Q&A here, and this one is a little bit longer. It's from Daniel Barba. And I'm just going to kind of cut down to it because it is like a paragraph. But essentially, the spell that Doctor Strange cast, could that be some sort of way that something like this could have been used with the mutants? I mean,
bring them to this.
Or that they've existed.
No,
but
basically what he's asking is, if you go off that old fan theory that Charles Xavier's making everyone forget.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, Doctor Strange did a similar thing. Like, could it have been done? Sure.
Yeah.
There's a world where it was, but I don't know if that's the direction they go.
Could you imagine they bring back Tilda Swinton to play, the Sorcerer Supreme in a flashback? They're like, what did you do? She's like, so you know how I was like the worst Sorcerer Supreme ever, literally doing all the illegal things? I also cast a spell daily to make everybody forget mutants exist. It's like, bro, how were you allowed to keep this job? Like,
I'll just do Xavier a favor, so.
It's, I mean, they could do it, but I think stylistically, when it comes to the story, that would be too lazy. Right? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, that's just lazy writing. It's like, just say they were forgotten. It's like, like, it's kind of like lands like a dud. Like, all right, like, I don't know.
No, it's not like Eternals where it's like, if they've gone into hiding for thousands of years and blended in, things get lost to myth and legend all the time.
Right.
I think mutants would be too new of a thing for. But then I don't know. I think I'm too stuck thinking that I actively hate they've been here the entire time. They just forgot because of magic or powers thing. Like, Well, like, oh, they're from the multiverse. I just actively hate those ideas.
It's
like,
the one thing.
Not that I've got anything better, but it's
Yeah, and it's the one thing that people know because people know I love First Class and that whole idea. The whole idea that Matthew Vaughn brought in because of budget scale and restrictions was, what if the mutants slowly expanded, in the 1900s, and then they were these government operatives that were kept close and they buried their stuff and they weren't really prominent, which is why that worked with the budget. And he always likes doing spy stuff anyway in organizations, so it fit what they were doing with the Fox stuff, which is kind of why it doesn't make sense when you go to Days of Future Past and they're just everywhere again because they changed directors and went back to Singer again. You could technically say, oh, there's always been a couple mutants in the history of the MCU. Yeah, Logan, he fought during World War II. We just didn't show it to you because he was on the Pacific Front or something. You could do that, but to suddenly say, guess what? There was 10 million mutants, and every day there was a spell or something. I feel that cheapens the whole story and approach. Just to me, it's.
Yeah, because then what stops the spell?
And well, he actually has that here, and that's another part of paragraph right at the bottom. He says, "What if the spell got weakened or affected in everything that happens with Loki and No Way Home and Wanda and everything?" Which again, you could technically do that. Like, that's actually a great way. You could be like, actually, that did do everything. But then the moment that I thought of that, my brain was like, but then how did they explain Deadpool? Because Deadpool 3 will be an MCU film. So it's like, oh, boy, Deadpool is just another headache on top of everything, I feel.
Oh. Mutants are a mistake. Just straight up, they're a mistake.
Racist! What? I'm clipping that, bro. I got you now.
I was gonna make a joke on it. There's no way I'm saying that on the internet. People will absolutely take that out of context.
Of course.
It's just like, oh, well, yeah. It's I really don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how they handle it. I don't envy them for having to do it in the slightest. But
yeah,
they will show up in some way, and I get why there's these ideas because World War II is very much a catalyst moment for mutants.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah.
So I don't know how you quite get around that, but then again, it's like you don't have to get around it. It's like, oh yeah, Logan's been around since Victorian eras.
Yeah,
Magneto just slowly ages. No one questions it with Captain Marvel.
It's true.
Like, oh yeah, this woman's like pushing her 60s, yet she looks late 20s, early 30s. It's totally fine. No one's going to question it.
Blood transfusion. It turns out Brie Larson actually transfused a bunch of Kree blood because she's such a terrible human.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's all the white men. No.
Oh, she's siphoning the power of white privilege?
Yeah.
That makes sense too. That checks out. I've seen that on the internet.
She just has like the boomers in the academy just like hooked up to a drip.
Amazing. This is good headcanon stuff right here. So yeah, look, I guess we'll kind of have a hint towards MCU's handling of mutants soon with X-Men 97 coming. We'll see what they do there, and then we'll see what they do next with live action. So.
If they use that cartoon in any way, shape, or form to as a reference point for the MCU, that's going to be wild.
I would be,
and I think a bit of a mistake.
Oh yeah. But hey, we'll know soon, guys. Well, we're going to take our last question here for this week from Planet Smarf. And he asks, for Iron Fist being adapted to the MCU, would you rather a show or a movie? And if so, which runs would you want to see adapted? Now, obviously, Iron Fist is one of those characters that hopefully can get a proper chance.
Yeah. Funny thing you say about that was what they're currently doing with Iron Fist now. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, people, if you're followed us, if you know me, you know Iron Fist, Danny Rand, one of my absolute favorites of all time. Like, literally my favorite Marvel Comics run is the Immortal Iron Fist. But I will be the first to tell you that I am ready to see Danny not be the Iron Fist, and I hope it's a MCU series. And I hope if they're going to bring back Finn Jones for whatever reason, you bring him back to pass on the role and the Iron Fist to a new Iron Fist who hopefully can be Asian, because I like that they're going to do that in the comics, and I'm cool with that.
That's the thing for me anyway. Is if they're gonna do that, or they're gonna do it the comic book way, where it just goes back to the dragon, and whoever deserves it gets it again.
They are not going to touch that show and that iteration with a 10-foot barge pole.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, well, it's in the comics where it just goes back to the dragon.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying, like, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that because they're gonna start that character again.
And you could even dance around that by being like, the former Iron Fist, Danny Rand, he lost the power. That literally in the lore of Iron Fist, when you reach a certain age, you die. Like, they come after you and kill you, and then the power goes back to the dragon, and somebody else has got to become it. You could literally say, be like, Danny Rand, no more. Somebody's got to become the Iron Fist, and you could base a show on that in one of the pocket dimensions, which they clearly talk about in Shang-Chi to an extent. That's all Iron Fist lore, and just go from there. And I think you just kind of pick up that and do it properly. And I don't think you have to adapt anything specific from the Immortal Iron Fist run or anything. Just kind of make a good Iron Fist story. That's all it really is.
Which is just interesting to me, because I kind of forgot is that we did see a dragon in Shang-Chi. So it's not like
two.
It's not like it's not like it's gonna be a weird thing seeing another dragon in the Marvel universe.
Yep. And I think there is a really cool story to tell about a training academy just set in a pocket dimension where you're training this new generation to see who could become the Iron Fist. You could put a tournament in there and make it very interesting. You could talk about some of the other cool Iron Fist characters that exist. Like, there's a lot of possibilities here to make a unique series that's different.
Yeah, and get some cool flashbacks with previous Iron Fist too.
Yup. Oh, I would love that. Give us some flashbacks to Orson in the World War. Yeah.
They'll do it properly.
Yeah, they will. Yes, they will. They'll do it right. And again, as somebody that didn't outright hate the Netflix show, look, Finn Jones is probably one of the nicest celebrities I've ever met and got to talk to.
Incredibly lazy.
Yeah, man. And he was, bro, like, he would not get up from behind his desk for most people, but he was like, okay, this guy's just up as Daredevil. I'll go and hang out and talk to him. And then we talked like after, like at the after party, and he was really cool. But like, yeah, no, I don't think you bring him back. That feels like that would be a detriment to the series, honestly, or whatever they do. Yeah.
You know, you can pick up kind of where you left off with that, but you just go like, hey, Danny Rand's Asian American now, and we're gonna go from here. And a similar thing happened to the Netflix series, but that's non-existent, and we're just gonna carry on from here.
Yeah.
Like, I think you honestly, you come out here and be like, yeah, Daredevil and Jessica Jones are the only canon ones.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with all that. So there you go. Thank you for the Q&A. We'll be back next week with more. I will have the question put up for a member section, so make sure you guys leave some, and I have a couple more left over that we'll touch upon, but need